Where the Force leads, I will follow.
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 Where I lead, they will follow. Hey, y'all, and welcome back to Tales from the Table Studios. I am super excited. We're all super excited to be back with another episode of Path of the Fates. We've got our wonderful Jedi with us today, and considering where things left off in our last episode, it should be a good one. Real quick, let's take a moment to go around, tell everyone where we can find each other and all that jazz. Hey, y'all. It's Drake Lionheart. Most people call me Lion. I am the creative director for Tales from the Table Studios. I'm the studio director for Tales. I do a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats here. This is where you'll find me. You can find me at It's Drake Lionheart on most things, or the Lion Knight 42 on Twitter, I think still. I'm not sure. It's been a while. I don't really go there anymore. Find me on Blue Sky. We like Blue Sky. You can find also at TTFT Studios on all socials. We are pretty active on Threads and Blue Sky right now. Those are the best places to find us. You can also find us over in our Discord. I'll talk more about that in a bit. Alternatively, I am K Kenny Plays. You can find me all over the internet at K Kenny Plays. It's great. It's a good time. I'm going to throw things to Stefan.
Hi, I am Stefan, and you can find me on the various socials, especially now with the mass exodus from the platform formerly known as Twitter. Usually I'm at Umbral Knight with a K X, but sometimes it's Umbral _Knight X, depending on what social platform you are on. And you'll find me doing various things, and hopefully here in either December or early January, we'll be making some announcements about some stuff coming up for Black History Month, so keep your eyes peeled for all of that sort of madness. And yeah, that's me. And I'm also K Kenny Plays, so you can find me at all of the various places at that handle too. So
every time someone says it, I drop the link in the chat again, so we're making sure you get all the exposure to that. Elsie, you're next.
Hi, I'm Elsie. I'm Optimistics on all social media. I don't use them enough to care which one you go visit. So it's your choice. It's Optimistics with 2 eyes and the last set of eyes. Have fun with that. I play Lumira Sol. I still don't know what I'm doing. I never do in any game I play. I don't know how to play any game I play. We just wing it. And I forgot what else I'm supposed to say, except for the fact that I actually am K Kenny Plays. So...
Zach.
Hi, everybody. My name is Zach. I'm going to be playing Wakecash for you tonight. You can find me on the socials at Schedule for Launch. And while I may not be K Kenny Plays, go check out Dear K, because she's had her voice Little Mermaid. So go do take care of our dear friend.
If you enjoy any of what you see here, love these wonderful people, want to support them, say hi, or go see what else they're doing, you can do that easily over on our Discord. We have a great community there of incredible individuals, including all of these wonderful people, and we have a page set up where you can see all of the cool stuff they're doing and where you can follow whatever other projects that they're working on. And just in case anyone's unaware, we also have Katelynn with us, who is, in fact, at K Kenny Plays on socials across the internet. It's a wonderful time. Go check her out, do stuff. It's great. And I think that's everything that we have to go over. So, when we last left off, our wonderful Jedi were making an immediate visit to the demon moon of Duxon. Yeah, of course you can, X. Everyone can be Cake Any Plays. It's a great time. We're spreading it. It's going to go everywhere. Eventually, it's just going to be what the internet is. It's wonderful.
Support Katelynn by using the hashtag I'm Cake Anyplace.
It's funny because Katelynn also can't defend themselves right now.
It's true. But that's why we're all Katelynn, so we can do it instead.
We are all Katelynn.
That's right.
So anyway.
This is the episode where Newton gets punched in the throat.
Oh my god. So, you're all forced you're all on your way to the Demon Moon of Duxon. Only realizing when it is just about too late exactly what this place was, as the giant metal wreckage and stone-shaped face in the sky attempted to consume you, at least in whatever way a giant metal face in space can do so, sending you plummeting down to the planet, the moon below. As it did, a few of you had a couple of inklings as to what you may encounter down there, or at least some moments where the Force reached out to you or you reached out to the Force. And I think in the moments before the ship crashes, Newton, as you are feeling all of this gravity sort of pulling on you, and as you are watching through the front windows, the rapidly approaching thick, dense jungles of dark brown and dead trees that litter the landscape, there is a moment where everything goes dark. And you hear that familiar hum of the engine. I'd like you to make me a force check, please.
Okay. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy! Ah! So many whammies! Ah!
That noise!
I love it. So we've got two dark side. I'm
Sorry.
so overjoyed. So you hear that familiar humming of the engine. And for a moment again you find that peace. You've come to sort of equate it to your friend, at least in recent days. It's a moment of calm amidst all of the chaos that surrounds you. But then you hear breathing with it. Coarse, labored, heavy breaths that seem to grind against your ears. Heartbeats that seem to demand your own come to meet them. They're slow, jagged, and you can feel your own breath catching in your chest. You see streaks of light flying past you like blaster bolts off into the darkness. You hear footsteps and rubble. For a moment, you hear what sounds like the ignition of a lightsaber, wisps of purple light peeking out through shadow before it fades. You hear rubble collapsing, voices that you've never heard before, whispering past you as though speaking behind your back. You don't know how, but somehow you know they're speaking about you. You can feel your friend tugging you forward gently at first, but as you take that first step, it's almost like you are grabbed and flung forward. You find yourself falling forward, tumbling as you go, watching streaks of colors and moments that make no sense, things you don't understand, and then you collapse to the ground. Ahead of you, you see 3 statues. One, a tall, imposing, masculine figure, bald, with what seems to be blackened eyes and deep lines that run down, almost to his lips. a sneer plastered on them, and it seems as though he is watching, judging you in disgust. Beside him, another statue, a smaller figure, feminine, lithe, long, thick curls carved perfectly from stone. But hers is a look of pity as she stands there, hands crossed over the front. You see in her grip what looks like the hilt of a dual-bladed saber. And though they are made of stone, her yellow eyes watch you sadly. A third figure beside them. This one, tall as well, clad in armor, deeply detailed. And again, though it is stone, you can see the colors as though they bleed from it. Deep reds and blacks. An intricate helmet with a T-shaped visor watching you. And then you hear the crashing of thunder, the flashes of lightning. And before you can react, you feel something crash into you. And again, now you are back here on the ship, wedged almost under the paneling. Your translator cracked from impact with some debris that has flown past you. What would you like to do?
Newton looks to her master in all the chaos, and just tries to press her mind to his to open up all of the images that I just saw. I think she's really disoriented, but just trying to get this through, specifically the three figures. And she says in her native language, just a couple words seem to come out. The Jawaese word for please stay safe, Ayafa, which means clan. And she tries to speak that to her master as well as she shoves all these images toward him.
Valden, as you watch and hear your Padwan, you can feel these images pushed into your mind, but it is not gentle, it is not softly shared. It is as though a clawed hand has ripped open your skull and driven them into your consciousness. You are barely there enough to hear the words that she mutters. By the time you've processed them, by the time you've come to understand any of what you just experienced, Newt has slumped, unconscious, under the dashboard.
I think the very last thing she manages to mumble out, and maybe someone catches this, maybe not, but she says, Iti wana shanai, which means I want to sleep.
And Valden, what do you do?
Alden is going to go over and try and just extend himself out with the Force, with his healing abilities, and try and see just what he can sense about the state that Newton is in.
Sure. Why don't you roll me a force check?
Looky there.
Ooh, what do we got?
I got 2 light and 4 dark.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'm going to ask you to use 2 of these. So
Yeah.
it is entirely up to you if you would like to indulge at all.
No, I'll use the light ones this time.
Oh, okay, cool. So, going over, you reach out, and you can feel immediately as though you are pushing through something. It's almost like trying to run underwater. There is some kind of dense thickness around you in the force. And as you reach out with the light side to Nu, you can sense that though they are jarred, physically they are okay. They're safe. They might have a concussion. But outside of that, and even if they do, it's very low grade. Outside of that, they seem okay. Nothing is broken. There's no internal bruising or bleeding or otherwise.
Okay.
But their body will need some time to just sort of recover from the mixture of physical and emotional shock that they just experienced.
Yeah. Veldin has both, of course, the force healing ability, but Veldin also has an ability as a healer to put himself into kind of a healing trance.
Mm-hmm.
And so what he is going to attempt to do is kind of meld those together and kind of put Newton into like a healing coma, basically.
Heck yeah.
And then take Newton like somewhere like that's not underneath the dashboard and just kind of lay Newton like
maybe somewhere a little more comfortable.
yeah
Yeah, for sure. The captain, noticing you doing this, gets up and like will help guide you to like his quarters, so there's somewhere safe and comfortable for you to put her for the time being.
Okay.
Lumira, as that's happening, I believe you are also on the bridge, correct?
Yeah.
What are you up to in all of this chaos?
I think at like this sight of like Newton's struggle, I think it's more like felt after she's gotten her bearings, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Which was, I think I rolled well enough, if I remember correctly, to have like a bit okay. It was like a cool little kick, like a flip, cool, like very Star Wars-y, graceful after the fact, pretending like I didn't almost eat shit. And then, and like, you know, as one does. And then,
as is tradition.
right, it's Star Wars. You gotta look cool. And then she's not one to be like very touchy-feely or like overtly show emotion, but I think there's absolutely definite concern for someone who is of her rank in this situation of Jedi like hierarchy, to feel a level of concern, especially with everything that we've so far uncovered, and what Newton has divulged in what they are experiencing. I am so sorry with the Force.
The Force is just manifesting. It's fine.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyways, so there's like some level of concern for Newton and inching closer, kind of afraid almost to get closer, but the concern overpowers that.
Okay. I'm also going to ask you to do something for me.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Anyway, I would like you to make me a perception cunning check
Okay.
with a difficulty of 3. So it'll be 3 purple dice.
Okay, so I'm gonna mess this up every time. Okay, I have 3 in cunning and 2 ranks.
So you'll have 2 yellow dice and then 1 green die.
Perfect. Thank you. With 3 purple.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. 1 threat.
Pick a pick.
2 triumph. So, triumphs do count as successes.
Wow, 2 triumphs. Holy smokes.
Yeah, it's real
I
good.
only roll good in every game but masks.
So, Lumira, as you're sort of getting your bearings and sort of focusing yourself, you notice that you can hear a very low hum in your ears. Around you, it's almost as though like a song stuck in your head. It's low. And as you focus on it just enough to try and figure out what it is, you realize that it's not just a hum. It seems to be chanting. Low, throated chanting, echoing in your head. Not loud enough for you to make out the words, but it just persists. And as it does, you have a moment where you can't help but question, do you ever remember not having this in your head?
Oh, I need it. Let me roll a d6.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't remember not having this.
Love that. Yeah. So there's a moment where it's strange, but you've always had this. It's always been there. There's nothing to worry about. It's fine. It's comfortable. It's right. Way.
Yes.
So, if I remember correctly, the last we saw of you was slicing through a box of children's toys to protect your head.
Yeah.
All right. The impact was not particularly pleasant, but seated, strapped in, I believe, too, right?
I think we just rooted to the ground.
You're right. Okay, yes.
I did a bunch of fancy footwork.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, you have come out of this unscathed, I believe.
No,
you got
damage,
whacked in the
but
face by one.
I almost
box,
got
right?
whacked in the face. I used a parry
Okay, cool.
because I had some
That's what it
strain,
was.
which is what I was going to say. I'd like to use a second to breathe
Yeah.
because we haven't done that yet on this side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a simple check. And is there anything that goes into that, or is it just you roll the green / yellow?
I believe that's it.
I think so too. It's at the end of an encounter, each player can make a simple discipline or cool check.
If it's simple, then there's no difficulty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and then
I get everything back.
Great, awesome. Yeah, because it's one. You get 1 strain back for each success. Or advantage or triumph. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Success
Well,
or
I got 1 success and 4 triumphs.
Excellent.
Is that triumphs or is that advantage?
No, those are advantages.
Yeah,
Those are advantages.
advantage.
Yeah.
Different. Damn it.
Still
Either
good.
way, I'm better.
Good. Tell us
Better
what
than I
that looks
liked.
like for you.
Well, he's not strapped in like everybody else was.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's kind of just the sake that he's somehow not injured.
Mhm.
he flexes himself and presses the ball of the cane and kind of rolls himself forward effortlessly back to his feet before starting to make stride back to the bridge to make sure everybody's okay.
Mm-hmm. And I think 3 moments that intersect here. You making your way to the bridge, Valden making their way back from having laid Newton down. And as the two of you sort of converge together, I think I'm going to say you have maybe like 30 seconds before you hit the bridge if you wish to engage each other in any way.
Give me a second.
Sure.
Okay. Master Velden, this is somehow connected to Frieden Nad.
Yes.
And then he freezes. Is Lumira okay?
I think physically, but other than that, I cannot say.
He
Newton
nods and then
is
oh,
resting.
it was a big crash. He nods to Master Velden and then at probably the most straight line / intentional pacing that Velden has seen him, makes his way to where Lumira was.
Sure. Approaching the bridge, the door opens very quickly. There are a few sparks that sort of fly out. And what is the first thing that... Yeah, Elsie, what's the first thing that they will notice about Lumira as they walk through this door?
It's dissociation station. Like not zooted, like staring off into a distance, like at nothing in particular. It doesn't even look lost in thought. It's just blank. Maybe like a slight furrow of the brows to show confliction, whether she knows it or not, but the rest is like 1,000 light years away.
Standing or sitting?
Standing.
Okay. So, seeing that, the first thing that Wakesh is going to do is he'll take one of the, I was going to say chairs, but those be all over the place. He's going to walk over to Lumira and kind of basically come up, and he's trying to cheat this like shock. So he's like, Lumira, come take a seat. And he kind of like gently just places a shoulder onto like, or a hand onto her, like the small of her back, and like is not pushing, but trying to guide so that she'll move somewhere she can sit.
For both of you, way as your hand makes contact with Lumira's back, you both notice that the other feels cold. Not icy, but chilled. Just for a moment. And then it fades.
Way's like, oh, Lumira's definitely in shock.
I was doing a little reading during this. I forgot something about my species that I chose, and it's also like goofy, and it goes with the background that Lumira comes from. And given the lost in thought, not present, I think the moment you make contact with her or go to touch her, it is an immediate like reactionary go to grab your wrist and like twist it behind your back. Like like defensive mechanism, not intending to harm, but like combat is used a lot in this species' background to determine emotion and intent. And I also think that her survival instinct in this would have kicked in. I don't need a roll for it. If you want to roll, that's cool. I
The
remember you
narrative.
have really, really crappy brawn, if I remember correctly, and that makes me
Yeah.
really excited. It's a little silly goofy, one might say. It's not intending to harm at
Yeah,
all.
no,
It's just reactionary.
No, he's like high intellect. So what he'll do at that point is kind of just like shuffle the two of them to a chair so that she's kind of in the position of power, but it's still going where he needs her to be.
And the second that they realize that it's not a situation where you have to defend yourself, they'd let go and sit. Doubt they'd say a word yet. Still like figuring out what everything that just went on and what they experienced and trying to process the chanting and the giant moon thing. But they'd sit, yeah.
I think Wei will kind of like lean down onto the cane and trying to lighten the mood a little bit. Go, you know, Lumira, this is probably up there for worst first day Master Padawan interactions. It's got to be close.
I'm not sure what the scale is, but I feel like at least we're both alive, so it can't be that bad. I'm sure there's been some worse days, so we can count that as a win.
All of the stories that get told.
I guess if you're dead, you can't tell stories.
How are you feeling?
Off. I'm fine, but a lot of things just very quickly are feeling wrong, it seems.
This, to put it lightly, and I think under the mask you can even feel it. He goes, I believe this is above our pay grade. Well, at least yours for sure.
Yeah, I was about to say I didn't even realize we were getting paid, but compensated is another term for what the Jedi are supplying me with. So I think a lot of things are above my pay grade right now, and this is definitely one of them. You're right.
He reaches into his robes and pulls out a communicator. First, he's checking if there's any signal coming off this place.
So you pull it out, you activate it. Immediately, you get a signal. And it
That's
keeps
surprising.
growing and growing and growing and growing. And then there's a second overlaid over it and a third overlaid over it. And there is static pushing its way out from your comm. And then what sounds like, very quietly, chanting. Low, throaty, heavy chanting. Just quiet enough to make it difficult to pick any words out of. But it's there.
Well, probably have to deal with that before we call back to the temple.
Perhaps we should see what condition the ship is in.
Yes, we'll run diagnostics real quick. What I wanted to do, and he kind of gestures for Lumira to pull out her communication, her communicator.
Okay. I think it's like a slow, hesitant react or like compliance to the request, but like she wouldn't not do it. Like a very shaky one.
Yeah. He is going to transfer 2 files over to you really quick. They are simple contact informations. I am trying to find the names because I lost them quite some time ago. I feel like Lion might know who I'm talking about from back at the temple.
Yes, you.
Is it your parents?
It is my parents.
Text them all the time.
So Waycash says, if something happens to me, these 2 will take care of you like you're their own. I promise.
I don't want to think in finite thoughts of you not being there to help me, but are these your parents? Did you just give me your parents' information?
I mean, yes, but they also are 2 somewhat higher ranking members in the order. So they are appropriate people to get into contact.
Cool. Parents.
Try not to think about it too much. They are ecstatic about the idea of you arriving.
I think like the processing of this, it that did not help. That made it worse. She's just like, they already know who I.
No, they don't know what you are. Trust me, your room is very much different than
My
we
room?
anticipated. Well, at the temple, not at my place. Anyways, what I'm getting at is it is better to be prepared. These are my next of kin.
Okay.
What I'm telling you is that this is bad.
So almost perfectly timed. The captain comes sort of stepping back through. That's all right. Preliminary scans. Nothing seems to be broken, but it's gonna take a little bit. We got to get stuff fixed. We got to recycle the engines. We got at least an hour before we can get out of here, and that's only if we can, because I don't think whatever the hell that was is gonna have an interest in letting us go. But
we have a beat on the chanting.
The what?
And he just turns the volume on his communicator back up.
No matter how high you make the volume, the chanting doesn't seem to change. It is persistent in its level of volume. And the captain looks at it, and then looks at you, and then takes a moment and goes, is this one of those Jedi things? I don't...
One moment. And he... So can we get the comms relay going to send out a distress signal?
We can try. There's a lot of interference here. And he like motions to someone, and they start messing with some dials to get stuff sent out.
Same tone.
Exact same. You just hear static overlaid on static overlaid on static, and then that low chanting. And the captain goes, "Yep, just static. Not sure."
And Captain, yes, this is one of those force things.
Cool. Well, yeah, listen, not what I was expecting when I signed up for it, but I know better than to question all the mysticism stuff. Yeah, you can handle this, right? We shouldn't be. There's no panic, right? We shouldn't be panicking now, should we? I mean, the giant space head, not something I love. I need you to be honest with me here, Master Kesh. Should I be?
You should be concerned but level-headed. Our priority is the injured and getting off this rock.
Not gonna lie to you, I was hoping for a better answer, but it could for sure have been worse. And he like reaches out and goes to like do the like shoulder squeeze and then stops just like an inch away from your arm, and you can watch as the like concept of this interaction dies in his head, and his hand just sort of
lean
falls
forward so that my shoulder touches his hand.
And he will. It's sort of reinvigorated, and he gives you that squeeze and a little bit of the nod. So I don't. It's
new.
Yeah, we're gonna be working on it. We got some time. I'd say probably an hour, maybe two, before the ship is functional. But I still don't know that we get anywhere otherwise. Scans don't pick up anything that should be pulling us in the way it did. But
I will say that your response gives the same answer that you gave me. Not what I wanted to hear, but considerably better.
All right. So we're going to be working on it. What happens now?
I think he looks to Veldin.
I think we see if we can find out what is going on as much as we can in the time we have allotted. Perhaps we should have a look around the surrounding area.
I agree. Maybe if the communication comes back online, send something to the temple, but also to the surface. I feel like Onderon should know about this.
Yes.
If they didn't see it already.
True enough.
Wonderful.
Well, shall we have a look about?
Lumira, are you okay to go?
Yep.
Action's better than inaction. Gives you something to focus on.
I'm guessing that Lumira recognizes this chanting on the communicator. And it's like the back to that zero, give it away, nothing expression of just like, yeah, I'm cool. Internally screaming.
Wonderful. So, the group of you go to disembark. We sort of have another one of our screen wipes, and we find ourselves, our camera, outside, staring up at the ramp that has been lowered. The doors open jerkily, revealing the three of you. And almost immediately as they do, you are buffeted by darkness. You can feel the dark side here, thick, rich. Every breath you take is a struggle, as though you are fighting to take something viscous into your lungs. Your bodies feel sluggish. Your minds feel as though they are being pressed against violently. The world around you seems dark and shadowed. And I'm going to ask each of you a question, and I'm going to need each of you to answer. In this moment, as you find yourself encountering this, do you lean into it, or do you try and push away and keep it at bay?
I try to push away.
Wonderful. Valden, Lumira.
I think this is I don't know what role this is, but I think especially for Lumira, it's one of those things is I need to know whether it is more comforting in its feeling to her or if it is one of the feelings that she has been running from.
Can I make a suggestion? A single force die roll. If it's dark, it's comforting. If it's light, it's not.
Yeah, let's do it.
But which one is that?
That's the
White
white
one.
die.
White one.
Bet. I hate that. All right. Anyways.
Well, that's why I said a single die roll,
Yeah.
not like
there you
your
go.
stat.
Yeah.
It's your coin flip.
So
Oh no.
It's comforting.
it's comforting. If you lean into it.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
I think Velden. I think Velden would try and kind of sort of resist, but it would be in Velden's mind, it's trying like a small boat in a storm, trying to ride it, just trying to ride the waves.
I like that. Okay. Valden Way, I'm gonna need both of you to make me a difficulty 3 discipline will check. However,
Discipline.
Valden, you will add a boost die.
Okay.
Way, you'll be adding a setback die.
It's the black one, right?
That's the black one.
Okay. Give me a second. I might have goofs and gabs for this.
Yeah, not a
I
problem.
just need to double check. Specifically because it is discipline.
Yeah.
But that also could just be because discipline is my order.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yep.
You know what?
It's his tie to the Jedi is discipline.
Yes. We're gonna add a boost die, so you'll roll a boost die and a setback.
It's a wacky set of die.
Yeah, it is.
3 green, 3 purple, 1 blue, 1 black.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh boy. I don't know what that means.
So let's see.
That means you failed, but you got an advantage.
Yes, you do. And Valden,
Okay.
you succeeded, but got
I
a threat.
succeeded, but I got a threat, so I got the mirror of what you rolled.
Oh, what fun we're going
There
to.
is some narration there.
Valden, you are sort of riding it. You are doing your best to keep yourself sort of protected. Oops, sorry. To keep yourself sort of protected, encapsulated as you ride through these waves of darkness. And you notice that your breaths become just a bit lighter. Your movements just a bit more fluid. You are surrounded by rage and anger and desire, but you are nurturing peace at your center. Tell us what that is for you. What is it that you are holding in your mind, in your heart, to keep yourself focused on that peace?
Oh, most definitely for Velden at this point, it would be the knowledge that like Nu 10 is unconscious back on the ship, and that if we fall or succumb, that then Nu 10 is just completely exposed and defenseless, and so that's going to be his center.
And as you focus on that, you can't help but wonder, but what if you were wrong? What if Nu is worse off than you thought? What if you made a mistake?
Oh yes.
I need you to take 1 strain.
Okay. Strained.
Way. Vehemently, you push back against this darkness, I assume.
Yeah.
It's almost like you push so hard that you slip. And you fall. And there is a moment where you feel both powerful and frustrated at your own failure at the same time. Because as you touch this darkness, as you try and fight it away, it feels right. It feels easy and powerful, as though everything you've worked for your entire life, all of your knowledge and wisdom and discipline and understanding, could have been trumped so quickly if you had just done this before. If you just hadn't lied to yourself and everyone else. However, there is still something that holds you back from taking that step. What is it?
In almost a void by himself, Way is on his knees. His body weight is leaning into the saber cane. And he looks up and he sees a puff of steam as a masked figure wearing a canid, tentacled creature's mask kind of whips past it. It's cloaked and dark, and looking at it, they lock eyes, and for a second he begins to feel fury before the figure's voice, that's not really there, tells him to stand and prove him wrong.
I love it.
And he does.
Lumira. Leaning into it's easy. Everything feels as it should be. There's a peace and calm and comforting feeling here. It's like being home for the first time. It's familiar. Almost before you know it, you're taking your first step forward from the ship. You feel like you know exactly where to go, where you have to be. And while you're here, and while you're leaning into this, you're going to have a boost die on everything. What would the 3 of you like to do from here?
Survey where we are, kind of get the lay of the land. I want to just look around and see what is around the crash site.
Absolutely. Ahead of you, in what seems to be every direction, is the remnants of thick, dense brush and shrubbery and tree line. But all of it is browned and blackened and dead. The grass is devoid of color. You see no movement. You hear no birds, no creatures, no life around you. It is empty and bleak and dark. But off to the north, you can see what looks like a spire. But it seems to shimmer, and it's fuzzy and difficult to focus on for very long. When you look away from it, you barely remember its existence. But when your eyes set upon it, you feel sick, dizzy, tired. You, Master Valden, certainly can recognize this for what it is. I think perhaps it's not even the first time you've encountered one. This is certainly a dark force nexus, a well of pure dark side and energy, essence, that has permeated this planet. And something's woken it up.
Well, shall we have a look? And he'll just kind of gesture in that direction.
If there's a virgins here, we need to deal with it anyways.
Master Waycash, I would recommend that your Padawan stay between us.
Let me take point.
He'll kind of gesture for Waycash to go ahead.
Lumira, are you waiting for this conversation?
No. No. This was well, yes and no. I think they are taking in light of all the circumstances thus far, and very much so with this. I think they're acutely aware they're not supposed to be comforted by this feeling, just by the vibe of everyone else and everything thus far. But that doesn't make them not listen to it any less. It's just, I think that they are more aware of how they are following it. I think that she is more so subtly trying to suss out where this comforting feeling is guiding her towards and listening to it, but not directly being like, oh, dog on a mission with a scent. It's like very much like, oh yeah, we're gonna investigate this together, and I have no clue where this is going. Oh wow, what? Kind of like following it. So yes and no. Listening to them ish, going off on her own, no.
Okay. Wonderful. So the group of you begin your trek. Every step is another crunch of dead grass beneath your feet. Another reminder of what might have once been here. About halfway between where you began and where you hope to end up, you see massive beasts, winged, clawed monstrosities, warped with bone-like hooks jutting out from their flesh, collapsed in piles, dead. As though they just fell out of the sky. It's the first life you've seen here. And the closer that you get, the darker it feels around you. And as you find yourself standing maybe 30 feet from the spire, it is an open area. Everything seems to have been erased. There are no stumps, there is no grass, there is no tree line, there are no bestial corpses. It is just dirt and fog, dense, shadowy fog, tendrils of it licking at your boots, drawing your eyes. And as you take your next step, you're enveloped. Each of you, you feel it wrapping around you, leaving you alone, cold. And we hear footsteps. Not the crunching of dead grass as you might expect, but steps on tile, echoing through this darkness. Master Veseska, a moment ago, you were with the rest of your group. Well, the ones who made it off the ship at least. But now, you find yourself alone here, surrounded by this darkness, a cold setting in, a light chill. As you continue to nurse that flame inside you, that glowing bit of the Force, the light side of the Force, keeping you focused as you ride along the darkness. And as you take a step, you hear your own footsteps echoing as though stepping upon tile. And as you move further into this darkness, it begins to fade around you, and it leaves you in a familiar place, back in the Jedi Temple. But it's empty. There are no younglings running about. There are no Padwans that study. There are no knights and masters walking to or fro, stacked with books or tablets or comms or anything else that you would expect to see. It's just you. And as you take another step, you pass a reflective panel on one of the walls, and the face staring back at you is younger, smaller, from before you had earned your place as a master here, when you were a knight. Something stands out, though. Something you recognize as being different or wrong. What is it?
I think that in this place that Katelynn would sense the younger version of himself and kind of gain that sense of anger that his younger self was trying to fight and always trying to shed. And in this place, it's somehow that's come to the fore, and he sees this version of himself as a more martial version of himself, more belligerent, more combatant than may actually have been the truth, or maybe it was something inside that was always there.
And as you stand there, pondering this, feeling this, you see the faintest outline of a figure behind you, tall, thin, hands resting on your shoulder, but you feel nothing. And then it's gone. You don't have time to ponder it. Your attention broken by the sound of blaster fire. As you turn in its direction, you find yourself far from the temple, here entrenched on a battlefield. Blaster bolts flying in every direction, reds and greens, burning through the air, bodies dropping around you. The Jedi who fall at your side are faces you recognize, be it those you're still intimately familiar with, or ones that you've long since forgotten, who have left, whether by choice or not. Ahead of you, armored figures march forward, wielding steel blades, heavy rifles, and occasionally strange small modified pistols that fire, instead of bolts of energy, small metallic slugs. Weapons crafted specifically to fight against your sabers. You feel a familiar hand on your shoulder. Looking up, the emerald eyes look down at you of Grand Master. At that point, simply Master Veronica. And she speaks, but you cannot hear it. A ringing in your ears, heavy and piercing. And she shakes you, trying to pull your attention. And everything happens so fast. The bolt of blaster fire, expertly deflected. And then the molten hot bits of metal slag spray across her face, her arm, and she falls. And again, you feel that hand on your shoulder and a voice. She will live, despite your failure. But for what? Glancing down at her, there's a moment where you can see her writhing in pain. And things shift again. You can feel you're older now. Those noticeable aches on the joints, impossible to ignore even with the force. On the ground before you, writhing in pain, your Padwan Nu Tu, a broken, bloody pile. You can feel the blood dripping from your own hands as you look down at her. She speaks for just a moment, garbled by the communicator that lays in fractured pieces. Again, that hand. It would be so easy. What are you, truly?
Question I could ask myself.
Oh, and you do. So often you do. And yet, so many years of study and practice and training, and you never quite feel confident in your answer, do you?
I think at that point, Veldon would kind of kneel down and, much like Qui-Gon, near the end of the Duel of the Fates, would just kind of close his eyes and just kind of center himself.
Always running, masquerading as patience and calm and peace. But for you, the Force is little more than a sheet that you use to hide yourself, who you are, and who you wish to be. Why? Why are you so desperate to not be afraid?
Fear. It's a path to the dark side.
You were very quiet there. I'm very sorry.
Fear is the path to the dark side.
And as you say that you can feel this presence moving around you. And even here, seated with your eyes closed, focused on the Force, you can see the outline in the darkness of your mind as the being kneels before you, matching you movement for movement, almost like your own shadow. I was you once. They don't teach that. But I was you once. A fool. Hopeful. Afraid. Afraid of my fear. Afraid of my power. Afraid of my truth. And just as I did, you could be free of it. But you won't, will you? Desperate to cling to what you need to be true.
Or what I know to be true.
Then tell me, Jedi, what do you know to be true?
That the dark side leads to destruction.
Destruction comes before rebirth. Would you yourself not be here now had your order not fallen?
True enough, the Force is a cycle of life and death. But I prefer to embrace life over death.
And the lives you have taken?
Reluctantly.
The labels that we place on ourselves to satisfy destiny.
Or to satisfy the living Force.
You follow the Force when it would be so simple to make it follow you. Why?
Do not make it follow me. Where the Force leads, I will follow.
And now it has led you here. To me.
So it has.
A shame, then. I will reward you for your devotion. You will survive to tell the story of this place. To walk with the burden of your fallen friends. Or to watch as they make better choices.
We shall see.
And there's a gust that blows past you, smelling of sick, sweet rot and decay. It is rancid and vile and vulgar in your lungs. But as it clears, the present seems to be gone, blown away with the breeze. And where you sit, touching the force, you feel that darkness press down. But you stand strong. Lumira, every step takes you further into the shadow. Every step, that chant grows louder and louder now, echoing through your brain, pouring from your ears. And you can swear that off in the shadows on either end, you can see just the faintest outline of hooded figures chanting. What would you like to do?
I think at this point, their gut says run and reverts back to where their mind was this entire time that they've been running. That comforting feeling is still there, but it's like laced with this unsettling discomfort in the pit of your stomach where you know something isn't right, and that sparks your fight or flight. And I think it is the opposite direction this time that she starts going.
So bolting back from where you came.
Yeah.
So you turn and you run, and you can feel the dead grass beneath your feet, the dirt that threatens to give way. You can hear the crunching with each step, barely under all of the chants that echo around you, and you run, cutting through this darkness, through this shadow, and your legs burn, and your back aches, and your body weeps for rest. And ahead of you, the shadows pull, knitting together into that same elder, angry, hungry face. The mouth opening as it reaches forward to try and consume you. Do you continue to run towards it?
What it seems like a silly question to ask, given like one is like something trying to consume you and the other is just hooded figures, is what feels less threatening to me, and what do I roll for that?
We could say, let's say you roll for me a discipline will.
Okay.
We're going to put the difficulty at 3.
Okay. If it's
So
Yellow is characteristic, right?
Yellow
Yellow.
is the smaller of the two numbers.
That's 1 or none.
Okay.
I have
so-
4 willpower, none discipline.
Okay, so
So
roll
4 green.
4 green, 3 purple, and don't forget your blue die. Because as long as you're leaning into this darkness.
Ooh, nice.
What do we got?
2 success, 3 advantage.
We'd love to see it. It doesn't matter. The truth is, and in this moment, as these thoughts race through your head, I think you realize it doesn't matter. You're being played with. They're toying with you like a cat, toying with its next meal. You are being teased. And I think, with your advantages, we can say, you can sense that the thing that will bode best for you is to just not play along. If you don't play the game, they don't have any fun.
So I stop running and stand still and not go towards either.
Do you do anything else? Or do you just stop and stand there?
I think she closes her eyes and takes a few like really centering breaths, trying to focus in on finding a way out. Meditation has never come easy for her. Clear thought has never come easy to her, especially in stressful times. It's just like basic instinct at every second of her life. But in this moment, I think she is absolutely trying to latch on to something that will show her a way out of this stupid game that she does not want to play.
Okay. So, you stop and your eyes close as you ponder. And you can feel the air rush past you as this face moves beyond you. The chanting lowers. It doesn't vanish. It's never vanished. It's always been there. But it's quiet and calm. And you hear footsteps crunching through the grass towards you. And they stop. And you can feel the presence ahead of you. You can feel a hand, cold, caress your cheek. It was only ever a matter of time. It would be heartbreak were I to fade before now. Yet here you stand, a chance for true greatness. If you're willing to take it. I had hoped the last few would, but they were stubborn and foolish and greedy in the worst of ways. Are you foolish?
In a very similar aspect, again, I do not think she enjoys being like touched in such a vulnerable moment, and goes for the same move that she used on Waycash, in which she goes for the wrist and like tries to maneuver it away from her in a defensive mechanism and is very, very confident in saying, I am no fool. But I have no interest in what you have to say either.
I love that. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to do a opposed roll.
Okay.
Okay. So, considering you're doing hand-to-hand, we're going to use your brawl, which I believe for you uses your agility, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So that will be 1 yellow.
Yep.
2 green.
Yep.
And your boost die.
Woohoo! And no difficulty because it's opposed, right?
Correct.
Okay. Ah. Is that good?
What do you
I
get?
don't know.
Tell me.
It's like 4 explosions and 3 wingy things.
Oh,
That's very good.
very good.
That's very, very good.
It's a
That
very
is
good
Yeah,
roll.
Excellent roll.
Don't fucking touch me.
Okay.
Fuck you.
My turn.
This creepy forced man.
I'll
I'll kill you.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay, no.
Wow.
No. I'm calling bullshit on this because I rolled really good and you got one better than me, and
I
I
did.
don't think that's fair.
To
I
be fair,
think
it's one advantage. So I don't know what happens there because
Yeah.
the
The successes,
successes
you're
cancel
matched.
each other up.
You're matched.
Mm-hmm.
creepy
So-
little forced man.
Here's what I think I'm gonna say. A number of things happen very quickly. You immediately reach out and grab that wrist and go to like twist it behind their back. In doing so, they step under your arm almost casually, trying to dismiss you, but your grip doesn't loosen. Over the course of the next 5 seconds, the two of you continue to tangle back and forth, attempting to forcibly take the lead in what becomes this intricate half dance, half fight for control that just ends with the two of you chest to chest, with this figure looking down at you, your grip still on his wrist, and his other grip on yours. And a wide grin spreads across his lips. Yellowed, sharp teeth flash as he nods. Good. Anger, rage, confidence. Again. And he sort of like shoves you back as he releases you. Whether or not you let go of him is entirely up to you.
I think this is a really cool chance to use. I've been like hyper fixating on this species
Mhm.
description because combat is communication for this species, and I think is really cool. And I would like to roll perception or something to get a vibe check on this, whatever version of Pierce the Mask that I can get
Ooh.
out of this crunchy ass game. Uh, and before, I think that is what is going on between this tango.
So
and-
you're trying to use this to figure out what's really going on here.
Yeah, I want to use this tango of equally matched forces as more of like a dance and a read your partner's intent, emotions, what is actually happening. And then she would let go, but I want to, during this, give a little flavor text to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't we say this will be a perception?
Okay.
And I will permit you to make a choice.
Okay.
You can make the as written perception cunning,
Okay.
or you could do a perception willpower. If you are going to use the force to help you pierce the mask, for lack of a better term.
I think that second option means it's more risky and I want to take it.
Love to see it. It's going to be a difficulty 3.
Right?
So you'll roll 3 purple dice.
Uh-huh.
And then you will roll 1 yellow die. Nope, 2 yellow die, I'm sorry.
2 yellow die and 2 green.
And 1 blue.
And 1 blue. That's a lot of dice.
That is a lot of dice.
Nice.
How did we do?
It's 2 success and 2 advantage.
Very nice.
Yes.
You are being goaded. He is actively trying to engage you in ways that will frustrate you, that will make you feel small so you lash out. He wants to kindle, to cradle, to feed the emotions that you have grappled with your entire life. And I'll give you this because you got 2 and 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
He very clearly wants you to come out of this feeling empowered because of it. His intent here is to create a contrast for you. He's laying groundwork. It's not the conclusion. It's the continuation.
Okay. Lumira, after shoving away with equal force, would definitely straighten and feel like I see you for what you really are with this read. And take a moment before saying, you know nothing about me, and I can tell by the way you speak about me. Do not think that your temptations mean anything to me here. I think she would come out of this empowered, but I don't think, at least in her mind, we'll see how the dice roll out in the future, as this person has had 0 influence on her whatsoever. And in her mind, she's one. But I don't doubt, with the way I know Star Wars works and I know how my characters work, that the groundwork has been laid. And by just giving in to that feeling of comfort that the dark side has given her in this moment, I don't think that she has escaped this entirely, no, but she thinks she has.
Love it. So, what is it that you say to him?
You know nothing about me, and all of these assumptions are just things that you wish to be true, and what you speak of is no more.
And he laughs again as you release and speak. You are here because I have called you here. Because the threads that I have plucked thousands of years ago now bear fruit. You will bring greatness, whether you know it or not. And I will be so proud. I know you more than you ever could. Poor, lost child, running from yourself, running from a shadow you don't even recognize. Tell me again how I know nothing of you. Tell me again how I thrust my assumptions upon you as you fight desperately in your heart to avoid a reality you know is inescapable. You are but half of my hope. And somehow, I remain all of yours.
There it went. That's it. That's game over. All right. I think that scared the shit out of her. That's a lot. That's a lot to process. And immediately it's like, oh yeah, no, actually this person knows more about you than you know about yourself. And it's you are out of your depth. I know I've mentioned in the past she's had experiences similar to this with like experiencing visions and whatnot, but I don't think there's anything comparable to what she's experiencing now. And it is terrifying and also terrifying to think that she just lashed out against something clearly so out of her league and how poorly this could have gone. But I don't think her instinctual feelings are to run. I think they are to lash out again, which is exactly what this person wants and exactly what they said they'd do. So, yeah. Do I have my lightsaber in this little...
Yeah, if you go check for it, and it is there.
Yeah, there's no second thought. There's no warning. She's gonna draw it and slash.
Wonderful. And as you ignite, what color is your saber?
Well, I think... Oh, shit. This was... I think it was...
Teal or cyan, right?
something like that. It was like a blue-green.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's associated with your label. So
Yeah. Wait, I can't...
purple or I think it's a purple.
I think it's a purple-green.
Yeah. It matches your name here.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I did this so long ago.
Was it cyan?
It's like...
I think it's the... It is. It's that cyan, because it's the little bar next
on the overlay.
It's like
Yeah, on the overlay. Because like Waycash's is like orange.
No, I didn't think about this.
Yeah.
Who let me do this?
It's kind of a bluish color.
Yeah.
Yep.
Indigo with cyan core. So like a bluish green, purple.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't know. I don't know colors.
That's okay.
I do medicine. I'm not an artist.
So you pull it out and you ignite your blade, and as it springs to life, as that light grows past your face and you raise it to strike, our screen falls away. Falls two-way. Waycash.
Yes.
Standing in these shadows. Alone. In silence. How does it feel? Standing here alone with your thoughts.
I don't think it feels bad. It's almost... He's used to walking the temple in silence for hours. Usually there's things going on, but it's no different than the night shift. I think he's a little annoyed. The dark vision of the Keldor not providing assistance in this specific darkness.
Mm-hmm.
But like, not like frustrated, just like, But I think he feels not quite at peace, but close to that. Concerned for the others, obviously, but...
And so it sits there. You stand there in this darkness. I don't know if you're standing still or if you're moving or if there's anything in particular you are looking to do. But as you stand there, there is silence and there is nothing, and it feels as though it stretches for minutes, hours, days. And no matter what you try to focus on, it all leads back to here, to now, to nothing. Until that silence is cut through by the sound of a saber being ignited. Standing behind you, you can hear the familiar echoing sound of the blade as it bites through the air. You can see faint glows of blues and greens from the corner of your vision, and the force screams in your head as whoever it is wielding these blades charges at you. What do you do?
First, he's going to roll around so that he is focused on whoever's coming at him.
Mm-hmm.
He's not drawing his saber yet. However, he is leaning into the saber in kind of the opening, deflecting stance that he will be taking.
Sure. So as you make that shift in your positioning, you see two young gentlemen clad in brown and gray robes, respectively, each wielding a single blade in both hands. One green, one blue. And they are inches from you, bearing down, eyes focused, striking to kill.
Without drawing the saber, because fun thing about the saber cane, he'll swing for the knockout on the first one.
Sure. Tell me what that looks like.
To them, it looks almost a little janky. He leans back on the saber as if he's going to fall before putting his weight into it and spinning, generating force around the wooden staff or stick, and bringing it up, ideally on the exterior of one, bringing it kind of to slam the two of them together if he can. He's using their weight against themselves.
Ooh, okay. So, you make that pivot, you swing. The first one, the one wielding the blue blade, manages to duck underneath it and pivot past you. The other, however, is unprepared. There's immediate contact. You can feel the heaviest weight of your cane meeting flesh and bone as they turn. And you can hear a sharp crack as their head bends at an awkward angle and their body collapses, slumped into a pile.
I feel like this is a good time to say that's probably the Sunder at work.
Yeah. The other looks at you in horror and then charges at you once more. But as they do, you feel as though you have an eternity to respond. As though they are moving, as though they are running underwater.
This one, he's going to rush up and more or less use the handle of it and kind of bring it up under the chin to once again knock this one out.
Yeah. This time I'm gonna ask you to roll for me.
All right, give me 2 seconds because I forgot the thing doesn't tell me the exact stats. Never mind, I put it on my other character sheet. I have 2 character sheets for. Okay, I have accurate 1, breach 1, and sunder.
Oh,
To it.
gross. And you're gonna roll with
I
2
need to
difficult.
figure out what those mean
So,
because I feel like
Mhm.
the only issue I have with this book, this PDF, is that you can't search it for some reason.
yeah, that's fair. Give me a moment. So,
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect combat.
no worries. Accurate
Uh,
adds 1 blue die to your attacks.
Okay.
And then what else did you have?
Accurate and breach.
Breach. That one I don't remember. I'm gonna double check it.
Breach means it ignores 10 points worth of armor.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
It's
Thank you.
basically breach because lightsabers are so nasty. Its breach is like pierce 10.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Jeez. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong one. Okay, what's the difficulty? Or
2.
is it contested?
No, it's just difficulty 2. When you're doing melee, it's standard as difficulty 2.
Gotcha.
But I do believe you also have a
Oh my
setback
God.
and an extra boost die.
Oh, I forgot about the boost.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I have a what and a what?
So you get 1 more blue die and 1 black die.
Advantage. That's it.
Oh, so what do you have in total?
3 advantages and 1 failure.
Ooh, interesting. So you swing this up under his chin. He pivots to the side, just barely dodging it. You manage to sort of catch just the edge of his chin and sends him stumbling back. As he attempts to sort of get back to solid footing and raise the blade against you again, his foot slips under him as though unsteady, unstable, and it is only when you look down that you see it is because he has stepped on the corpse of his friend, leaving him open for a moment. You know that once he gets his footing again, he will come for you again. He's
What's
made it
this guy
clear.
wearing? What's he look like?
He has brown robes that you immediately can recognize as those that a standard Jedi would wear. Short, cropped brown hair. The beginnings of a beard grown in. Bit splotchy still. Looks to be probably in his mid-20s. A few scars across his face. There's nothing that strikes you immediately as familiar. Except for the determination. That you recognize. You've seen it in yourself and in plenty of others. Jedi sent out with a mission to accomplish something that must be done.
What Wei is going to do is as he pivots, he spins out the saber cane standing in the saber part of the cane and rushes towards him and swings it down, and right as it looks like he's about to hit him, he's going to swing the wood down and crush this guy's knee.
Ooh. It's an expert maneuver, and you've done it a number of times. Mostly in practice, but I'm sure it's not the first time you've used it on the field. And there is a loud, crunching sound as his knee gives out, and he goes down. teeth gritted, holding back sounds of pain, eyes narrowed as he flails his weapon out at you to no avail, easily enough deflected or dodged, ignored even. And he begins to speak, but you cannot hear him. And it's only in that moment that you realize you cannot hear him because the chanting is too loud. You can't remember when it started, or if it ever stopped. And you can hear the voice behind you. He won't stop. None of them will.
Pulls the other body closer to him and checks the pulse.
There is none. You will always be a villain to them.
Well, you talk to me every now and then. I feel like it's been a couple of weeks, months. I don't know how long I've been here anymore. Why don't you actually come by and have a conversation?
You think that if you play pretend for long enough, they'll see you as the hero. The bastion of conviction, devotion, and dedication that they'll forget from where you come, from who you are.
Tell me, do you remember what it was like to kill Master Mata Tremaine? Last I remember, you're still a Padawan.
For your words to ring true, I would have to envision myself to still be of the Order, but I transcended them. I slaughtered, and I stepped free because I was meant for more.
And yet the lack of knighthood still hurts.
You lance with me. Your words aim to wound, but they are not lethal. It is a family trait. One foot in each world. Is that the game for you?
Yandra Stool was a fool. But you are right, it is a family tree.
Darth Ravis saw the truth.
And still failed.
He played a role in a plan far bigger than himself, as will you, like it or not.
And yet you have two out there, I believe, correct? Not Sith, just disciples.
Poor, sad child, working so hard to be a Jedi, to amass knowledge to make up for the mistakes of your blood, and yet somehow, with all your study and all your preparation and all your wisdom, you know nothing. Yes, I have two, and no, they are not Sith yet, but I have high hopes for the two of you.
Breathe easy, Frieden Ned. You're showing your anger.
My anger makes me strong.
And confused.
Am I the one who is confused? How?
You know that things must be balanced. Tip the scale too far, and an order collapses. Grow too large, another destroys. All things are birth and death, such as the Force.
You can paint your rhetoric as you wish. But you, child of Ravis, you and your Padwan, you will find my way. You are my shining hope, my glory. You will follow the Force, thinking it proof of your dedication to be better, and all you will find is greatness as you are meant to. And no one will be able to stand in your way.
Are these the same promises you made to Omen?
And if they are,
He was a greater fool than you. He pauses for a second. He goes, though I think there's some truth to that, if you would agree. One of you still talks, the other just gestures his hand.
as you do, from the shadows, this figure steps forward, immediately lashing out at you. A blade made of shadow, a body made of darkness, leaps from the shadows towards you. Mid-swing. What do you do?
Take up that duelist stance again and just swing through with the actual blade.
So you ignite your saber as you do this.
Yep. There's no hatred to it. This is just the motion.
So I'm going to tell you a piece of information, and then I'm going to ask you a question, and then we will resolve whatever we need to resolve.
Okay.
You draw your blade, and it thrums to life as you hit the igniter. And what you see extruding from your hilt is a crimson red blade. What is your reaction in that exact moment?
A tool is a tool. It is the intent behind it.
Lovely. I would like you to roll me your lightsaber skill. No difficulty, but you do need to include both the boost and the setback die.
Okay. Give me a second.
Sure.
What is the difficulty?
No difficulty.
No difficulty.
No difficulty.
Setback is black. And don't fuck me. 3 success, 1 advantage.
Excellent. Lumira, would you do me a favor and roll me your lightsaber skill, including your boost die?
Oh no.
Yeah, one time this happened to me.
sorry.
Time this happened to me. I killed 2 people.
Oh, good.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah.
I forgot about the accurate.
Okay, roll 1 additional.
It's an additional green, right?
Blue.
Blue. Fuck.
Okay.
What are the rules again?
So let's look at your sheet. For your lightsaber, you use cunning, correct? So it will be 2 yellow dice, 1 green die, and a blue die.
Oh shit! You said 3 yellow dice. 1 green.
2 yellow dice. Let me double check. 2 yellow, 1 green.
Okay,
And a blue.
No difficulty.
Correct.
I don't want to hit roll.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I'm really scared. Okay, that's okay.
3
It's
advantage.
just 3 advantage, no success. That's fine. Wait, please don't kill me.
I have 10 breach before my damage.
Okay, great.
No, that's not great. That's 15
okay.
points of damage.
How much damage?
I don't have that
does your
many
saber
hit
do?
points. Mine?
No way.
The 10 for the breach.
How did you get that much? I don't know how
saber.
it works.
I pumped all my money into the saber cane.
I didn't spend any of my money.
Well, the breach is just going to
It's
ignore.
just going to
soak.
ignore the soak.
Oh.
It doesn't do
Okay.
damage.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
That's
Now the
Like, you're
saber
fucking-
itself
is,
has
I
a
think
base of
6
damage
usually,
of 10.
right?
I
10?
think.
I thought it was 6.
It might be 10. It might be 6, depending on what kind of saber you got.
Oh, that's
My
true.
damage is 5.
It's okay. I
Okay,
have
crit
your
of
main
2.
character sheet anyway, so this is fine.
So
I don't know
base
what crit
5.
2 means though.
So crit 2 means that you can spend 2 advantage to do a
not doing
critical
that.
hit.
Okay, cool. I can't be a little silly goofy though. What is the situation?
It does 5 plus the number of successes you scored in damage.
Okay, how much is that? Just hypothetically.
So that would
Considerable
be
amount.
8. That would be 8 points of damage because you rolled 3 successes.
Yeah.
What does this subtract from if hypothetically this is going to actually subtract from
Wounds. This
Wounds.
would be your wounds.
Okay.
Did I kill you?
No.
Okay.
Really close though.
Okay.
I have a follow-up for this because of how Waycash works in combat.
Wonderful.
Wait,
So-
I think I have some combat things.
Well, it's not an attack. It's whenever he hits somebody, he makes sure they're still alive.
Oh, good. So there is a clash of sabers. And as they do, the two of you both can feel the force pushing outwards from you. Lumira, you see the grinning face of Frieden Nad holding this red blade as he connects with yours. Way, you see this shadowed figure come crashing down on you, and there is a quick exchange of blade work, but Way, you are just more controlled, more careful, and in this instance, just smarter.
Does in Veldon's meditative state, does Veldon sense anything
Give me one
from any
moment.
of this?
You will.
Yeah.
So, Way, I would like you to describe for me what it is that Veldon sees as the dark fog clears in your brutal strike on Lumira.
As sorry about that. As Lumira falls, the blades connect and he deflects off of it. She follows up with another swing, and the blade is actually blocked by the wood, which probably catches Lumira very off guard. It quickly rolls around, and the side of the wood catches her kind of in like the head and the neck, and that's when the saber comes in and crashes to the side.
And it is in the moment as Lumira goes down. Not out, but down. That Lumira looking up, you see the glowing orange blade of your master. That way, looking down, you see the injured, hurt form of your Padwan. And Valden, you watch as all of this plays out and can hear the throat grinding laughter echoing in your ears. What do the group of you do?
Okay, did I take the do I take
Yes.
how much
Yes, you
damage
do.
was that? How
8.
much damage
It's
was
8 points of damage.
Yeah.
Actually, too, I was just going to say it's the base damage on a lightsaber is 6, not 5. So
It's
just
5
just
for
for future
the
reference.
for the super
for
cane.
the cane.
For the
okay.
cane one,
Yep,
yeah.
gotcha.
It's slightly weaker because of the other benefits.
That's good then.
I have 4.
Wonderful.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Give me a second. I'm looking for how this works because Wei immediately drops and reaches into his side pouch. Because he has stim packs.
Oh, don't do this to my character again. I can't be addicted.
While
to
he's
again.
doing that, Eldon is just going
Feels
to
fine.
reach out a hand and use the force heal ability.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Okay.
So let me make a force rolly here.
Yep. Also, Zach, for your knowledge, so a stim pack heals 5 the first time, and then 1 less for every stim pack you use that day.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm going down the protector line.
Let's see.
Because
I'm gonna do
it's
some
good.
stupid shit. Is why. Thank you for being my stupid shit protector.
Well, it's 2 things are going to happen here.
While everybody's doing their thing, I'm gonna voice what happens to Lumira. I think. How did you swipe again? Just directionally?
It was basically like a slightly delayed dual diagonal slash.
Okay,
So
perfect.
the
That's what I
wood
was
caught her in
thinking.
her neck, and then the other would be like hip and side.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think that in the searing automatic cauterization kind of thing that a lightsaber obviously does, it is both simultaneously a gasp of pain and then nothing, because technically when you're burned that badly and it's automatically cauterized, you don't feel much, but you still recognize that it's happened. So it's more like the shock. This is shock way. This is shock.
Yeah.
The legitimate shock this time of just like terror, both from what she saw in her own vision and from what she is facing now, because she also drew her lightsaber on her master and she also swiped at him. And it is a dual recognition of what the hell is happening to make us both hurt, like try to harm each other, but also terrified that he was involved with it. There's always that itching lack of or presence of immediate mistrust in those around her. And I think instinctually she tries to crawl away holding her side, but I don't think she's strong enough. And so it's very much just like a be cautious with your actions around a wounded animal because it might bite back. But I don't think she would fight either of you when medical attention comes. I think it just takes that half second of recognition. But no words.
Sorry.
Hang on one moment, Way. Just one moment. Because as you're fishing for your stim packs, I know Master Veseska was doing something as well. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. I reached out with the force and did heal. And so I generated 3 light and 2 dark. So I'm going to use the 3 light dice. And now that we're actually, in like a combat situation, so each one of those will cost me a strain.
Yes.
And then I will use those and convert those. Will then convert into 3 wounds healed per pip, so it'll be a total of 9 wounds.
Oh my
will be
gosh.
healed.
That's so much better than I thought it would be. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing. Walden, tell us
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Veldon will just kind of come out of this fog and see kind of the chaos, and in this like coming out of the meditative state will just reach out, raising a hand and extend out and approach Lumira and just wave the hand across over the wound and just watch it like fade away as his hand passes across.
As you do that, you can feel the moon itself seething in hatred at you. As though every single speck of darkness on this moon, on this crater, on this rock, is glaring at you, demanding your death, Valden. It is this pure concentrated hatred. You were going
This
to
place-
say... Yes,
I'm
sorry.
just going to say this place is toying with us.
Think Wei just quietly nods. Doesn't have
Nope.
words right now.
Yeah, no words. But even if I did get all of my HP back, I was 6 scar. There's a 6 scar. I want a 6 scar.
Hell yeah. So where is
Just
it?
like it's like you always said, like side down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, side. So
not
it's like
deep, but
diagonal.
It's bad.
Yeah. Now it's fine. Now it's fine.
Yeah, now it's fine, but
Now it's cool, but I have 6 scar. But it's like diagonal. Like I would say towards like where the hip or the waist is, diagonally towards the hip. Like just like a cool like whoosh.
And Valden, you know immediately there shouldn't be a scar. That's not how that works traditionally. But it's there. It's a pretty gnarly one.
I feel sick.
You don't really have a moment to process it, though, as the darkness that had been around you seems to coalesce, coming together and knitting into this figure standing almost 7 feet tall, clad in bronze armor covered in spikes, jagged bits that jut out in every direction. You all, at this point, recognize this as Frieden Nad, or at least what remains of Frieden Nad. Behind him, where you had seen that dark spire, now is a pit, a hole sunken into the dirt, as though something had been dragged into its depths. His face seems plastered and a scowl frozen, as though hate is all he can remember. And as he speaks, the ground around you shakes, and you can feel as though your breath is being forcibly drawn from your lungs. But he speaks to you, Master Veseska. And he goes, "Try as you might, I have done what I must, and I will have my victory. But for it to come, strangely we find ourselves aligned just once. The roadblock we both face is a shared one. Bane's apprentices. Go. Deal with them as you see fit. We will meet again. All of us. And he turns his gaze over to you, Lumira, and then to you, Wei. If you wish, you can try your hand, but every moment you spend with me, they will get farther and farther ahead.
I think at this point, Wei does do something. He steps between Lumira and Frieden. There's no words. It's the gesture.
And the scowl breaks into that big, yellow-toothed, sharp, angled smile again. And then he turns and begins to walk away. Do any of you do anything?
Nah, man.
I'll put on my brown robes.
Offer Lumira
I got it. I got the joke. It took me a second. I got there.
And as he retreats to the pit, behind is a thin layer of that fog rolling across the ground. And as it begins to clear, you can see, as though carved into the earth itself, a star chart, a map to a planet. Exact coordinates. At least, Wei, you can read these exact coordinates, because they're written in Urkatot.
Pull up the hand scanner, image it.
Yeah.
So that we can get out of the darkness.
Absolutely. So what do the group of you do?
We head back to the ship. Like, we should
Is that
debrief later.
directing us somewhere, that star chart?
I believe so. I'll read it once we're not out here.
Back to the ship then.
Probably the safest place.
Head back.
Lumira, are you okay walking on your own? Do you need help?
Nah, I'm Gucci.
Wonderful.
I wouldn't let them help me anyways. Regardless.
Sure.
But there is definitely like probably 1.5 feet of space more than there usually is. Like in line, but there's a distance.
I think Waycash is walking behind the group at this point. Just keeping track of what could be behind us.
And as you reach the ship, I think we're going to take this opportunity to do a bit of a Star Wars screen wipe again. And what is overlaid over our image is of the same ship landing again in the middle of a torrential storm. Hail and thunder and lightning and angry, thick drops of rain pelt the outside of the ship. And we watch as the ship settles in the midst of what seem to be hundreds of year-old ruins and rubble and wreckage. industrial equipment rusted and collapsed. Stone crumbled in on itself, and ahead, a giant mound of materials. Maybe once something more, but now just another ruin, a forgotten proof of something. But you know full well as you touch down that this is where you are meant to be. You can feel that familiar darkness here. You can sense the same force essence as was on the belt of the lieutenant. And something more. And as the three of you step off the ship and into the storm and down into these ruins, it is dark and bleak and hollow. But you see pieces of what may have once been a life. Rotted, molded, broken, collapsed bits of decoration, somehow even remotely preserved here.
Let them speak.
Anyway, you smell that mildew and that mold and that wetness. You can hear droplets of water dripping through cracks in the stone. And you can feel, perhaps not as deep, but here still there is that darkness. There is something ancient here. Perhaps not as ancient as Friedennacht, but something ancient here. And it calls to you. Beyond this tunnel opens a larger room in which you see a series of statues. Most are the same. A tall, muscular, masculine figure, bald head, stern eyes, with a frown, darkness surrounding them and deep lines seared into the stone, and they watch you as if hateful, as if disgusted. Master Veseska, you recognize the statue. You've seen it before in your apprentice. And there is but one other statue in this room, another that you recognize, of a smaller woman, curls, yellowed eyes that seem to watch you no matter where you step, gazing at you with pity. What would you like to do?
Eldon is going to look about. Are the others? I can still see the others with me, yes?
Oh, yes. Yeah, the three of you are together.
It will look at the other two and say, what do you all make of this?
I think we're deeper than we should be without backup.
Do you see? He's going to kind of describe the scene a little bit. Do you see what I see?
These are Sith of note, right? This is a Waycash would know. Zach does not.
Waycash would for sure recognize at least the bald figure as Darth Bane.
I see him.
Well, I will not force either of you to proceed.
Way, Valden. The two of you hear footsteps echoing from a hall to your left. Looking, you see just the barest wisps of blonde curls and a black cloak disappear around a corner. And then almost immediately, you hear echoes of voices, soft, down to the right. Voices that do not immediately sound familiar. And then things begin to shake. You can manage to make out just, this is where we part ways, I think. And then the rubble collapses on you. Rocks falling towards you. Some of them slow, just for a moment. And then fall again. What do the three of you do as this rubble collapses on you?
Seek refuge.
Sure.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think, in the agile nature of Lumira's general movement, again, would be to dodge and protect in a way of getting under something that's going to cover her more than a falling rock is going to crush her, because she cannot avoid that.
What is it? Door frames? Is that what they say in earthquakes?
yeah.
Yep.
Is it? I don't
That's
know.
a door frame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
door frames.
I only did tornado drills. I don't know about earthquake drills.
We did
Those-
this here. We have no activity.
Yeah. So what about
And
you,
then
Wei?
and the tornado drill is like, just cover your head, little children. That'll protect you.
Yeah.
Put the
Also
book
for,
on your head.
also for nuclear weapons, duck and
That's
cover.
what tables are for. Tables are for nuclear weapons.
Tables are
Yeah.
tables.
So are fridges.
And then and bathtubs are for tornadoes.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh, yes. All right. So, Wei, what about you? What do you do?
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to look up to the ceiling and like notice if there's any spots where there's smaller rubble falling.
Mm-hmm.
And at least maneuver himself there, trying to avoid anything major.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as this happens, Lumira, you go to sort of dart into one of the arches to protect yourself from the rubble. And it begins to collapse on you. Before you can take action, you feel something hit you in the gut, driving you past the collapsing arch as it comes down. Dust kicked up around you. Looking down, you see the now unconscious form of Nu Tu. And then, from behind you, for a moment, you hear the sound of an igniter and a purple light. And then it goes out, and our camera goes dark. And that's our episode for this week. Thank you so much to my amazing, wonderful cast for being here for this. Special shout out this week to Katelynn. The OG Katelynn, because we're all Katelynn, but
We're
OG
all
Katelynn.
Katelynn.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
For being here at the top and being a part of this. But thank you to all of you. Thank you to our amazing chat for being here. We sincerely hope that you've enjoyed this episode. We're going to go around one more time so everyone can remind you who they are, what they're up to, where you can find them, and all that cool stuff. Zach.
Oh no, I coughed.
Right on cue.
That
I
timing
tried to
was
be
excellent.
I tried to hit it, but
I'm so sorry.
it's okay. I was surprised. It was a fear cough. Hey everybody, my name's Zach. You can find me on all the socials at Scheduled for Launch. I had to think about that for a second. You can also find me on Thursday for the last episode of Alien for Whom the Bell Tolls. That's Astroceratops on Twitch. Myself and a couple of others are going through that. It's been fun. That's this place where I'll be your mother for a couple hours. It's the name of the GM in that one.
That's true.
Yep. Let's see here. You're going to find me here in the near future and hopefully other places when that shit gets picked up, because there's a lot coming down the pipeline.
It's true.
Oh, where's Caitlin's stuff? I need to.
Kenny
Bam.
plays.
Hey, Kenny plays,
okay.
yeah.
Yes. I'm also K Kenny Plays. Go check out K Kenny Plays and make sure that you support Katelynn, because she's the fucking best.
Amazing.
And I miss Newton, the little hero they are.
Elsie.
I have a question before I introduce myself as Katelynn. Wait, did the lightsaber, if I remember correctly, and I think Cass reminded me, the lightsaber went out because Cass is getting force choked? If they are, what happens if I don't do anything?
Who knows?
Wow.
I win. I
Oh.
win. I win. Game over.
You're gonna have
Make
to
a new
hit
character
Cass
sheet, Cass. I'm coming for you. I'm just gonna let you
You're gonna
die
have to
right
hit
there.
Cass with Newton.
No, I'm gonna protect Newton and let whatever Force Ghost is choking out Cass do their thing. End Cass's character. Cass, make a new character sheet. We'll go from there. I win. Now I kill your character. You're welcome.
Good.
So I'm K Kenny Plays. You can find me at K Kenny Plays. I don't know anything else. I don't know what Caitlin's in right now. I it's all amazing, I'm sure. I'm actually LC. You can find me at Optimistics on all social media, wherever that may be. I don't care. Where can you find me? Well, you can find me at PAX next week. That's fun. I'll have a megaphone. You'll hear me before you see me, which is no different than the usual. I am also, as usual, every alternating Tuesday. So this Tuesday and then 2 weeks from now, and They Call Us Villains over on Entropy Emporium. I am so excited. We have a Christmas episode. I've never been more excited in my whole life. I got my powers back. I got my groove back. That's also a thing. No longer dying, ? And it's Christmas. Yay. There's nothing to worry about. It's fine. We're all doing really great.
Everything's fine. It's all fine.
Everything is super fine. My boyfriends are not dead. So
Really,
yeah.
sometimes that's all we can ask for, right?
I got to tell Rose to shut up in character. That was really good for me. And that's about it for me. I hope everybody had a happy holidays, and wishing you and yours, if I don't see you till then, whatever you may celebrate, I hope it's happy for you. And that's me.
Stefan.
Yeah, I'm Stefan. You can find me on the socials at Umbral Knight with a KX. Yeah, and hopefully be announcing some stuff, like I said, here coming up that's in the mix for Black History Month coming up in February. So hopefully keep your eyes peeled for that. I don't know if we can top what we did with Body and Soul last year. It was a phenomenal experience. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out, because it's super amazing over on the Chaotic Wholesome channel. I am also K Kenny Plays, as are we all, as are all of you. So go check out the amazing Katelynn, who was an amazing trooper, even with no voice, to come on and just get us kicked off here. And then who will hopefully be back for our next fun-filled episode, because we're going to need it. We're going to need some new 10.
Get rid of that old tin. We need new tin.
Yeah.
That's right.
And if you haven't yet, you can check out Body and Soul. I just posted the link over in our Twitch chat, so go check the playlist out. It's amazing. It's so good. So that leaves me. I am also K Kenny Plays. You can find me on all socials at K Kenny Plays. Katelyn's amazing, and we love Katelynn. Katelynn also can be found in some other stuff. You can find her on Winter of Adam, a Fallout campaign on the Lost Caravan, and Flabbergasted, the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Tea Kettles on Tabletop Test Kitchen on Tales of Initiative. Cool stuff. Go check it out for sure. Katelyn's amazing. And I guess you can also find me. Hi, I'm Drake Lionheart. Most people call me Lion. I am the studio director for Tales from the Table Studios. I've been told I have to make that change. It's fine. We're fine. I'm the studio director for Tales from the Table Studios, which you can find on all socials at TFTT Studios. You can find me on socials at It's Drake Lionheart, except on Twitter, where I think I'm still the Lion Knight 42, but I'm not on Twitter. So, I mean, the account exists, but I'm not there. So if you want to keep up with me, you got to find me elsewhere. I'm usually on Blue Sky. TFTT Studios is active on Blue Sky and Threads. Check us out on both or either. But more importantly, if you are interested in seeing the cool stuff these people are doing, coming and saying hi to them, hanging out in a great community of wonderful creatives and just fantastic human beings, and keeping up to date on all of the projects that we have in the pipeline and all of the events that we're lining up for, you can do that over in our Discord. If you check out the chat now, you'll find a link. Come say hi. Join us for cool events. Get first glimpse at the things we're planning at the for casting events and stuff. My brain is not mush. It's fine. Also, we are in the holiday season, and if you haven't yet, this is a really good opportunity for you to take some time to look into the best way that you can support Indigenous communities around you, because that's real important. Remember that the turkey's for more than turkey, you know. With that said, I think that's everything I have to go over right now. But join us next week, because it's going to be a very special episode of Path of the Fates as we begin. I'm going to call it episode 2. And it's going to be a wonderful time. Yeah.
I just have to say, Lion, that's rough, because I'm like a 70s and 80s kids. And when they said it was a very special episode, that meant somebody was going to die or get addicted to drugs.
Yep.
Or the Christmas special, the Star Wars Christmas special.
Oh my gosh! Bring back Chewbacca's son.
Yeah, which a lot of people would rather die or get addicted to drugs than the Star Wars Christmas special.
You're still right, Esky. Who knows?
And can you blame them?
No.
Look how
That
close
one
I came
animated
to
show
dying.
with Boba Fett wasn't too bad.
Look, all I'm saying is X got to become a king, and I almost died. So really, I'm losing here.
I mean, we'll see.
Too. So
we'll see.
Yeah.
Not even your teacher, your new teacher.
That's true.
New, not Newton teacher.
So as we fade out today, we're going to go raid VJH Creations. VJ's amazing. We're gonna go show some love over there. I'm not 100% sure what they're up to, but it's good. I know that because it always is. So I'm gonna give it a couple seconds until we can go jump over and do that, and then we're gonna go. But remember, until next time, eat enough food, drink enough water, do the things you gotta do, love yourself, take care of yourself, and as always, never forget to tell your tales. Love you so much. See you next week. It's gonna be a great time. Raid is live.
Yay!
And we